Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I'm a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. The journey continues today on June 21st, 2022 at approximately 8:29 a.m. PST. I'm doing this a little differently right now and just backing videos up back to back to keep them into shorter versions. Okay, it was suggested by somebody that does work with marketing a lot more than I do. And from that standpoint, it also cuts down on the amount of time you have. Now, you're already out at this point, you're already out of your bed. Now, what's the next step to getting your life turned? Well, that's the easy part. If you haven't done so already, okay. Now, for me, and I don't have it here, but that's okay. For me, it really boils down to this. You take a sheet of paper, okay, and we'll use this one just so we can get things started. If you haven't already done it, walk into your office. You've already got your coffee in hand. I know I do. Coffee, tea, whatever it is. Especially if you're talking a lot, if you're expecting to be on the phone a lot or what have you. Having something to drink is a good thing to drink with you. Non-alcoholic people, non-alcoholic. Alcohol doesn't do you a lot of good. Sure, it may feel better temporarily, but I'll tell you the bigger problem with it. It knocks out your trained and learned inhibitors. Okay, which means, yeah, it can give you a little bit of liquid courage, like they say, but it also means that in all likelihood, your ability to stay focused, your ability to speak professionally may become complicated. But you come into your office, and the first thing you look at, okay, is do you have a list of tasks ready to go? Start with only 3. Well, technically, you start with 1. Okay, but keep these tasks to 15 minutes to half an hour in length. So right now, okay, I'm working on the journey. Next one is I'll be dealing with posting it. Now, I'll figure things out as I go along. But hopefully you've already figured this part out. This is critical to getting your financial world turned around. Okay, and that still says me. Note to self, change my financial goal line. Okay, so what this says, this is from last month. Okay, but because it didn't break it, it's staying the same anyway. Okay, we're talking household income. We have legally acquired a minimum of $3,800 by, now this says May 31st, 2022. I didn't make that, so it's also going to apply to this month, which will be June 30th. Okay, now do understand what you do. Now, for me, I require $2,500 to run my household. With what I've just done, it's probably closer to $3,000, so I gotta work that out. Have that listed somewhere where you can see it. Okay, where you work on your finances, it will help you stay focused on the financial goals you actually have. Okay, I am curious at this point. This is one of the advantages, one of the disadvantages I've got, in a sense. Where are we? Open, no, don't want that. Want this one to see if it opens. No, I do have to open that. So we gotta open that, and we come down here to, where are we? The Empire. Okay, well, this is obviously not going to work well. There it is. Okay, right now, when I look at my financial side of it, okay, I require, like I said, $2,500. And right about now, where are we here? Go there. Okay, I require 25 to run my household. I've already got, coming through my door, I've already had 2,000. I've still got a paycheck at the end and a contract coming in. So making 25 is going to be child's play. Okay, making the 38, probably not so much. But get an idea of how much money you require to run your household. Okay, remember, if you're running a business, then you work out how much you desire that business to make, but that amount of money gets added into the rest of the money. Okay, it all gets lumped together. By knowing where you're standing financially, okay, you actually can make things happen. Now, here's the neat little kicker about it. You've got to when you're working out how much money you require, put a list together. Yes, I'm a firm believer in lists. Okay, but you put a list together, okay, of everything you own, or that you owe. Whether it's a current or whether it's a debt, it doesn't matter. The list includes everything: rent, utilities, power, leases, any contracts you have to pay out, any regular payments you're making that you're paying on, any credit cards. You include everything, including what you owe other people. Put the whole list together. This will tell you how much money you actually owe, like what it costs you to run your house, how far in debt you are. It gives you a clear picture. Now, the thing you have to remember about money is money doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't matter who you are. It still plays the same way. It never looks at who you vote for. It simply sits there and does what it does. Okay, but once you've got that list together, you break it down into three types. Your regular living expenses. This is your rent or your mortgage, because rest assured, your mortgage, you're still paying a rent, you're still renting. In your case, if you've got a mortgage, you're renting from the bank. If you're still paying land taxes, you're leasing it from the government. It's still rent, mortgage, lease. They're all the same thing. Your utilities, your insurance, your entertainment, your food, a little bit for savings, or a lot for savings if you can pull it off, and your credit cards. Now, your actual living expenses only include one credit card. Just one. Have as many as you like, by all means. Okay, but you only include one in your living expenses. The rest of them are a rotating debt. Okay, so you break it down. You put your living expenses first, then you break down the next set. The next category is your interest accruing debts. Anything that you're paying interest on, be it the extra credit cards, a lease, a lease. If you've got a mortgage, the entirety there fits there as well. Remember, your monthly payment is your living expense. The overall bill is the debt. The third category that you break down is your debts that do not accrue interest. Things like whatever money you borrowed from friends or family that you're just aiming at paying the principal, the original amount back, and they're not adding interest. Okay, that's your three categories. Get them all down on a list. Okay, then you organize them from the most expensive to the least expensive inside, and I'm talking monetarily speaking, inside each category. Now, in your living expenses, okay, there's two bills that must be kept up to date before everything else. Okay, well, correction, before all except the one. Okay, the first thing you do, the ones that must be kept up to date, is your rent or your mortgage, whatever you want to call it, and your power. Everything else you can work around. Okay, so you make sure you've got those covered. You take a look at your gross income, at your net income, whatever you end up in a paycheck, whether it's a government check or otherwise. Government check or employee career, doesn't matter. Take a look at the total that comes in. Take 1% off the top of each. That's $1 out of every complete $100 you get. Okay, and you give that to every member of the household, because you're all working together. You're all contributing to do the housework and the upkeep. Now, with that in mind, I have been told, like I said, I'm going to try and keep these to 10 minutes. So I will be back momentarily, but now you've got a backbone place to start. Okay. With that in mind, I will be back momentarily. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other, and for pity's sakes, stay positive.